Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Microsoft Ignite 2021 after party. So, we're so glad to be here with you today. And we have an amazing program for you today. So, first of all, Mr. Sheyi, I'm not sure, are you in sort of like a dark room where you're doing crypto mining? Or
That is it. To make it fun this year, I'll put my light on shortly.
No problem. I thought you're doing like some crypto stuff, some some hacking stuff over there. So hello everyone again. So thanks very much for joining us and welcome to today's program. Mr. Sheyi and Olana, what are we doing today? Why are we here today?
Today is what we refer to as an after party after the Ignite 2021. Microsoft look at a way of igniting and referencing what was done, especially some key solution that was announced. Ignite is just a time where technologies come together to make reference to what is happening and what is the future is going to look like. And that's why the after party is coming up. Yeah.
Awesome. So it's after party now. Yeah, it's after party, but I cannot see like a glass of wine, anything. What's going on, Olana?
But you can see
that's why I'm showing the party. The party is going on. Yeah, the party is going on. Can you see the party?
In the dark space. That's why she's in the dark space.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are going on around him. And as you can see, I am in my party dress, and we have a lot of people that have come to join the party. So today we're going to be talking about a very sensitive, I wouldn't say a sensitive issue, but it is something that is affecting the world in general and affecting us within our space, within our community. We're going to be discussing that shortly. I will not be talking about it right now. I'll leave that for Shay to talk about, and we're going to be, showcasing a lot and talking about a lot of technologies that we can use to actually tackle most of these concerns that we're experiencing in our community.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Mr. Sheyi, I heard that we're going to be watching an introductory video before we go ahead with the program for today.
Yes. The fact is like a throwback. Mm-hmm. Now, we all know how Ignite went last year. It was a digital affair. And the whole essence of Ignite is to bring technologists, bring professionals together to know what Microsoft have in stock for the future. Now, there's a lot of things that was mentioned. So the throwback is just take us back and tell us this is what was announced. Then we now move to what we need to discuss in this after party.
Awesome.
So generally just to bring us back and ensure that we know what we have and what was announced last year.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and watch the video. So the video is about 2 minutes, and we're going to come back. You get to meet amazing moderators and an amazing set of panelists, and we're also going to introduce you to the rest of the program today. So just stay tuned and watch this video in a few minutes.
I like my nifty new shoes, huh? They're a little squeaky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning, and welcome to Ignite. We are thrilled announcing Microsoft Mesh.
Today is about showing how we can help transport dreams from here to there.
It's so wonderful to be able to take the wraps off Microsoft Mesh.
The new Mesh enables customers to be able to work remotely in a mixed reality-based world.
These are just the beginning of what's possible when you connect the bits we build with the atoms of the real world.
2020 as the year work moved to the cloud.
Now, we recognize you don't only use Microsoft products.
So you're going to continue to see us drive a multi-cloud approach.
Seth wasn't paying attention.
I watched it.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, I did. I'm going to do the homework. Okay.
Today, I'm excited to introduce presenter mode.
with no spotlight required. Teams usage jumped to 115 million daily active users. And in 2020, we introduced more than 100 new features in Teams.
I almost wore this today
I knew
for the
it.
show.
Good stuff, Seth.
Thank you.
Zero Trust is the cornerstone of effective protection and the foundation for security that powers your future.
We're now going to include Power Automate Desktop with Windows.
Simply stated, Microsoft is at its best when we marry up our portfolio of intellectual property with a customer's business needs.
We're designing experiences to empower people in a work-from-anywhere world.
Innovation isn't about the technology, it's about the people behind it.
I want to thank each and every one of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have helped the world overcome the most unimaginable constraints. Thank you.
Well, Olana, you can see so many announcements. Merge, what's going to happen on the Power Platform, what Microsoft planned to do in the security space. A lot of things happened last year. And that brings us to this after party. What are we going to learn here? What is our perspective in terms of why do we want, what is discussion we're going to party about? So,
I mean, like you said, there were a lot of technologies, a lot of new technologies that has been introduced. And mostly what we're going to be doing here is talking about those technologies and how we can leverage these technologies to, better present solutions, basically. So we're not just going to get new technologies and download them or install them or learn how to use them and it stops there. So what problems are we addressing with these new technologies? I mean, they're there to, help us be better, get better, and improve our solutions.
Yeah. And one of the things that I also like is that we're going to be having an amazing discussion with a great set of panelists. So it's always interesting to hear things from multiple perspectives. So we have different perspectives from data perspectives and AI perspective and modern workspace and development, and of course security and other types of perspectives. So it's going to be a very, very interesting program for everyone.
Yeah. And now for the video we're going to watch, it's going to be the main course. When you go to party, there is always the main course. That's the main course of today. And we're going to watch a video on the retailing. And one thing why we went for this is because we are looking at our background in Africa. We have so many retail chain business around here. How do they launch on cloud technology? How can they improve their business? And how do we, as technologists, whether you are in the security space, you are in the Power Platform space, you are in the data space, how do you manage this aspect of the business? Now, the video was done by the SVP for retail business, cloud retail business, and it showcased so many things which we are going to see. And I know, Olana, you have watched it. What is your perspective? Let's just throw that back to the audience. What is their perspective of this video?
Okay, so Shay, let's let the audience see those videos so that when we discuss,
okay.
So let's just allow. A lot of people will not be able to relate to it.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we go ahead and watch the video for about 30 minutes. And then when we come back from watching the video, what's going to be happening, Mr. Sheyi? I hear that you've invited quite a few people to this party, or this after party.
We have a lot of people in the party. And
I think a lot is the word to use. This is a lot more than it.
Yeah, it's a lot, and the flyer here, even we have generally, if you look at the space at which each of these people play in their own space, they have remarkable track record, especially when you look at it from the perspective of Africa, and we want them to be able to guide us, relate to the business and ensure that they are able to look at the retail business, dissect it, and see how we can actually leverage on their knowledge and bring this to bring a change to our business here in Africa.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's queue up the video, and we'll see you all in a few minutes.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Embrace Digital Optimism with Microsoft Cloud for Retail. My name is Keith Mercier. I'm the General Manager of the Worldwide Retail and Consumer Goods Industry team here at Microsoft. I am a white male. I'm wearing glasses. And I'm really excited to take you through our agenda today. Just a little bit of an intro to me. I grew up in the retail industry. I actually got my first job working for Gap when I was 17 years old, folding jeans in my local Gap store. And that led to a 27-year career where eventually I ran the e-commerce business and then even their largest product category, which is their denim business. And it was during that time that I could see our customers were adopting technology faster than we could actually get our technology budgets approved. And I really believe the future of retail was going to sit on the top of a technology platform. So I made the jump over into IBM and spent my time working with retail executives talking about digital transformation and how technology was going to power the future of customer experiences. And when we commercialized Watson, I was the worldwide retail leader for Watson Artificial Intelligence. And during that time, I was paying a lot of attention to Microsoft because they were our largest competitor in AI. And I was really getting enamored with these announcements I saw in the press between Microsoft and retailers, building these partnerships to really change the game in the industry, such as something like Circular Fasten or taking on a big competitor. And I was fortunate enough to come to Microsoft about 3 years ago and now be a part of this journey for Microsoft and our retail customers. Okay, let's push ahead and take a look at what our agenda is for today. We're going to start, I'm going to talk a little bit about the changing retail landscape and what I'm hearing from our customers around the globe. Natari is going to join us and take you through the Microsoft Cloud for Retail at a glance and some of the amazing capabilities that we'll be bringing to market. And then we're going to finish with one of my favorite things to do is talk to partners. Shankar Narayanan is going to be here from TCS, and we're going to do a fireside chat about what he's seeing in the industry and what he's hearing from his customers. Okay, let's dive in. So we had this wonderful opportunity here at Microsoft to talk to the C-suite and retailers around the globe. And what I'm seeing, hearing from them are these 6 key questions that they're asking themselves. And a lot of it has been just fueled by what's happened in the world in the last 15 months. And the first is, what does the future of e-commerce look like? We've seen this incredible shift to the digital realm, whether it's for education, whether it's for entertainment, and we know it's certainly for shopping. In fact, IDC reports that non-store retailers grew 42% in the last year. That is just an incredible amount of growth in e-commerce for any retailer to experience. Even those that had stores also saw incredible growth. So the future of retail is certainly going to be anchored in e-commerce, and there's a lot of opportunity there. The next is, what does the store of the future look like? I don't know about you, but when I shop my local grocery, there's as many employees pushing shopping carts, filling customer orders for curbside pickup, as there are customers pushing shopping carts, filling their own orders. So the store role has really changed. In some cases, it's an experience center where customers come in and shop and find items they like. It's a warehouse where employees are literally filling orders. It's also a fulfillment center where orders that start on e-commerce are being fulfilled directly out of the back room and shipped out of the back door. So the role of the store has greatly changed. The next is, how do we build a more resilient and agile supply chain? The supply chain has taken an incredible hit and continues to be under pressure as we merge into the next normal. In fact, Costco has leased containers and 3 large container ships to ensure their products get delivered from Asia into the US and Canada. That is a pretty unprecedented move for a retailer, and it just shows the importance of supply chain in supporting the business of retailers. The next is how our employees are doing. When you think about the shift in consumer behavior, curbside pickup, when you think about the new role of the store, you think about keeping items in stock from your supply chain, there's no one greater population in retail than the frontline worker who is impacted by all of this. In fact, the frontline workers and retailers are the first responders to COVID. And we saw this when the industry was carved into essential and non-essential retailers. Essential retailers remained open and got an amazing amount of traffic during the pandemic. And employees were responsible for social distancing, making sure that there wasn't too many people inside the store at one time. So they're managing so much more than they ever have. And it has a real impact on their wellness. And our retail customers are asking us about how can we help them do better? How can we help them be safe? How can we help them be in good spirits and help customers? The next is around how do we personalize and build loyalty and keep with our customers in the future? We saw incredible shifts in loyalty during the pandemic. So those retailers that couldn't keep in stock the key items that customers wanted, those customers quickly pivoted to another. Or if there wasn't a curbside pickup availability, we saw those customers shift, and we saw them shift from brands too. So there was a big shift in personalization is a huge opportunity for retailers now to build those relationships back, and also for the new ones that they've acquired, start to get to know them across channels. And lastly is around accelerating ESG, environmental, social, and governance plan. This really is becoming an important component of how the next gen customer is going to make their purchase decisions. They care about ethical sourcing practices. They care about where products are produced and the factory conditions in which they're produced. And they're literally making purchasing conditions. H&M is doing a great job of thinking about sustainability and fashion and actually opening up their supply chain to other apparel retailers to leverage so they can produce more sustainable fashion too. So these are some of the big questions we're hearing from our retailers. It's top of mind for them, and these are the areas that we're focused on helping. Okay, let's go ahead and move ahead and talk a little bit about the Microsoft Cloud for Retail. This is something I'm very excited about. This is an incredible opportunity for Microsoft, our partners, and our retail customers. This is our pivot to industry as we launch this new set of capabilities into the market. And it's really about future-proofing. It's about helping our retail customers connect their customers, their people, and their data in a way so they can have the flexibility and agility to go where their customers are going and be prepared for what's next. So I'm now going to turn it over to Natari Felton, who is a rock star in Microsoft, who's going to dive a little bit deeper into the Microsoft Cloud for Retail. Natari, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Keith. Hello, everyone. My name is Natari Felton. I'm the Technical Delivery Director for Retail here at Microsoft. My pronouns are he, him. Behind me, I have a couch, a bookshelf, and a digital frame. All right, let's talk Microsoft Cloud for Retail. It is no secret that customers want a great experience, and the key to ensuring a great customer experience is data. And with Microsoft Cloud for Retail, you'll be able to significantly improve your customer's experience and really know those customers' increased relevance. We will help engage with those customers however they shop, whenever they shop, wherever they shop. Microsoft Cloud for Retail is making those experiences sustainable and profitable. The capabilities we're bringing to market with Microsoft Cloud for Retail are designed to work in a modular and interconnected manner. We are meeting you wherever you are with your digital transformation journey. Microsoft's composable capabilities are powerful, and that means you don't have to rip and replace everything, so you can easily enrich and connect your business processes across the shopper journey. Now look at this illustration. In the center of it, you're going to see the star of the show, data. Data is the oxygen that's breathing life into this thing, the next era of retail. Now, unfortunately, most data are unstructured and unorganized, which limits real-time visibility and those actionable insights. But Microsoft Cloud for Retail helps break down those silos. We are connecting experiences across the end-to-end shopper journey with intelligent and integrated capabilities. Our retail-specific cloud service drives accelerated time to value by unlocking the power of the entire Microsoft portfolio. And all of this is brought together and built on a platform of security and compliance. Microsoft runs on trust. A unique value of Microsoft Cloud for Retail is that ability to democratize data. Siloed data is harmonized with other data across the ecosystem. We add intelligence to enrich the business processes and uncover those insights. So just imagine the productivity gains that can be realized when store associates have the technical equivalent of a business partner right there at their side to enhance their decision-making. This will change the game. All right, let's check out the shopper journey. We're going to take it from the beginning. Join me at the top of the wheel. We're going to start with demand generation. So this is where we deliver intelligent recommendations via digital marketing channels promoting the customer's next purchase. This is our new composable intelligent recommendation service. We are leveraging AI to deliver more relevant and personalized recommendations based on customer behavior and real-time interactions in the store. Another great example of this is Shop Similar Looks. This feature makes it even easier for customers to find what they're looking for and for retailers to offer more relevant options. And customers don't even have to log in to play. So even anonymous customers can get real-time, on-the-fly recommendations. This demand then drives shoppers into the sales cycle. That's where Microsoft Cloud for Retail enables the frontline associates with industry-specific tools to deliver the best-in-class multi-channel experiences in a safe, secure environment. At the point of purchase, Microsoft offers connected tools to drive conversion, enabling secure payments. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But for right now, we're going to move to store operations and focus on the physical. This means getting the product into the customer's hands to fulfill the purchase and complete the buying process. Customers who come into the physical store are met with associates who have an enhanced understanding of the store. This allows them to provide the customer with enriched experiences through improved collaborations with their colleagues and improved insights. They're going to get the customer what they need when they need it. And I'll tell you how that happens in a minute. Don't spoil the surprise. Organizations across the globe have seen tremendous benefit from harnessing the power of data, yet they're navigating with this partial view. And what I mean by that is today's environment consists of both physical and digital spaces. So organizations have a lot less visibility into the physical footprint than they do those digital channels. And so something's broken there, right? You don't have a view in certain areas of your business. So this reality actually limits the potential to optimize operations and improve both the employee and the customer experiences. To address this challenge, we are excited to announce Connected Spaces. This product is an out-of-the-box solution that is built to be extensible and work with the existing hardware that already is in your store. And all of this is paired up with pre-built AI models to analyze shopper patterns and trends and movements throughout the space. Connected Spaces enables you to adapt and act in real time. Data-driven insights. Anticipating trends improves your forecasting and staffing and empowers proactive inventory management. If a customer is standing by a display or a specialized or specified zone for more than the average amount of time that it would take to make a decision in that particular area, a notification is sent to make sure an associate checks on that customer. Again, contributing to that great customer experience. And over time, Connected Spaces becomes more intelligent, an increasingly helpful business partner that enhances decision-making by providing intelligent insights and suggesting efficiencies and improvements. And all of this is enhancing your overall understanding. This is going to truly transform the way work gets done. All of this is GDPR compliant, the shopper data is anonymous, and the data never leaves your tenant. Next stop, purchase. Purchasing can happen in many ways: online, social shopping, or in-store. Microsoft provides many tools to assist this process. In physical spaces, for example, customers head to the checkout with their basket of goods. And now they're greeted by shorter queue lengths thanks to Connected Spaces and its ability to monitor those queues. Notifications are triggered when the lengths of those queues become problematic. And at checkout, you can rest assured that Microsoft's adaptive AI-based fraud protection is hard at work. This will help eliminate those erroneous card declines, loss, and compromised online accounts for both online and in-store purchasing. Next up, we've got fulfillment and service. Multi-channel fulfillment brings emerging delivery channels to life with services like curbside pickup and BOPIS. That's buy online, pick up in store. And we'll talk about curbside in detail a little bit more in a second. Our shopper journey continues post-purchase with our insights capabilities. So we're harnessing all that shopper data that we've been getting all throughout this journey. It's here where we focus on enabling retailers to better understand customer demand signals. You'll get insight into cross-channel behavior with intelligent post-purchase analytics. And all of these insights then feed into and inform the merchandising and planning process. And finally, distribution. This is where we ensure that no matter what channel, whether it's online or in-store, operations are optimized and retailers get the right product into the customer's hands via their preferred channel. Now, this completes the shopper journey, and the cycle, of course, restarts again with demand generation. Only Microsoft can democratize your data like this, and together we'll provide your customers with the best customer experience across that entire end-to-end shopper journey. Microsoft is the one-stop shop for all of your technology needs. Now, I promised to go ahead and take a deeper look into curbside pickup, so let's go ahead and do that. So roughly 50% of the top 500 retailers offer curbside. And growth numbers at retailers like Target and Walmart are showing us that curbside is here to stay. So you're looking at our latest work in this space. And throughout this work, we are unlocking even more sophisticated curbside scenarios like efficient pickup scheduling, order execution, and customer notifications. In addition, we're also helping retailers with distributed order management and intelligent order management. These retailers are turning physical stores into fulfillment for e-commerce orders. And you'll be able to deliver on your order promise by automating and optimizing fulfillment with a rules-based orchestration system leveraging AI, and manage that entire life cycle by gaining real-time visibility from intake to delivery with customizable dashboards like the ones you see on your screen right now. And you can respond instantly to disruptions by modeling and automating the response to order fulfillment constraints and to help ensure on-time delivery by using easy-to-use designer tools to modify the order journey. Now I know what you're thinking here. How do I light this up? It's pretty easy. So you can get up and running quickly by integrating with your existing systems using our pre-built connectors. All right. So I'm going to leave you with some guiding and grounding principles to showcase exactly how Microsoft is approaching the industry cloud products. But for purposes of this conversation, we're of course going to be focusing on retail. So on your screen right now are these principles. So you heard me say it earlier, Microsoft runs on trust. This also means trust and business model alignment. So no customer should ever be dependent on a provider that sells them technology on one side and competes with them on the other. Microsoft will always be a trusted cloud provider, advisor, and a great partner. We will not compete with you. And second, Microsoft has a comprehensive trusted cloud. All of your information and your data belong to you, not Microsoft. We do not sell or mine your data. You have access to cognitive services and AI to help you understand how things are moving around in your store, and helps you to turn that data into actionable insights and optimize all aspects of your enterprise. You can reason over this data in its entirety and make real-time decisions, allowing you to drive that next best action and offers around that customer engagement scenario. So we work with your organization to help you harness this data and build predictive and analytical power that's required to make your own competitive advantage a reality. Again, your data is yours. And third, we offer trusted global scale security commitment. This happens with a platform that easily enables customers to become compliant on. Fourth, we recognize that every industry is unique. Our goal is to provide and deliver solutions that are tailored to your specific needs. So we listen deeply and we employ experts who bring that industry perspective to all stages of this product development. So for retail, we're also connecting, like I said before, the physical and the digital experiences to help you better serve your customers in that new, more personalized way and getting those customers the goods they want, where, when, and how they want them. And finally, our offerings can be customized using a global ecosystem of trusted partners. So partnering with Microsoft means you have access to this entirely huge and powerful ecosystem. The baseline is free, the connectors exist. You cannot get the aggregate of all of these services anywhere else. We work with the leading technology partners, both large and small, to ensure that we provide complete solutions to address your unique business challenges. Now, if you've been to a physical Ignite, you've likely seen one of these partners at the Microsoft booth or in sessions like this one. Simply put, these amazing partners help us extend our capabilities even further, ensuring that you're going to find a solution to fit your needs. The customer experience is paramount and data is taking center stage. Welcome to the next era of retail. And with that, I'm going to hand you back to my colleague who has a special guest. Keith, back to you.
Thanks, Natari. Great job. I love how the Microsoft Cloud for Retail allows retailers to take control of their data and get insights even faster. Okay, now someone who is even more passionate about the Microsoft Cloud for Retail. My next guest to the stage is Shankar. Shankar Narayanan is the president and global head of retail and CPG, travel and hospitality at TCS. He's an incredible leader and partner to Microsoft and somebody who's really been on this Cloud for Retail journey right from the start. So Shankar, thank you so much for being here today. Really wonderful that you could join us.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith, for having me here. Just as a matter of introduction, I'm an Indian male. I'm joining you from our High Street Kensington office in London.
Great. So let's dive right in. There's so much that has changed in the retail industry and really continues to change. And so I'd love to hear from you. What is top of mind for you as a retail leader? And what are you hearing from your customers? You know, what are some of the big shifts that you've seen when it comes to your customers' technology and approach, as well as their investments?
Yeah. No, first of all, I think both you and Natari have done a fantastic job, right, in laying out the industry trends and what you've been doing from a Microsoft Cloud for Retail perspective. The last 18 months have been extremely difficult for the retail industry. Customers were shunning the stores. The store traffic is returning back and will get back to normal. But I believe that the store traffic may not ever hit the pre-COVID levels. Customers have become very, very comfortable with e-commerce, and the e-commerce volumes went through the roof during this period, and it remains very high. There's significant pressure, on margins, for these retailers. So as we emerge, out of the pandemic, I believe the successful retailers will be those who are able to offer a unified experience to shoppers across all channels, whether they come to stores, whether they come through e-commerce, whether they come through mobile or social channels, whether they're able to deliver consistent experience to all of these shoppers and give a unique experience across these channels. The second, important thing is the whole purpose of the store, right, will be reimagined. It's no longer the place that is going to be only for shopping. It is a place that can really transform itself to offer a unique experience, a personalized experience to the shoppers. It is a place where the retailers are going to be able to offer services without compromising on the assortment, right? So these are some of the challenges or opportunities that I see retailers grappling with. Right? What this means is that there is a need for acceleration of the digital transformation. We've already seen that those retailers who have invested sufficiently ahead of time in the digital transformation were able to navigate some of the challenges resulting from the pandemic extremely well, right? And therefore, these retailers are continuing to accelerate, while those that haven't invested sufficiently are having to increase the spend in the digital acceleration. And I believe that the cloud and the artificial intelligence technologies will remain as the greatest enablers for this digital transformation.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I couldn't agree more. And one of the things that you said was really around the customer experience. And even when Atari was talking about data being the oxygen that would power the future customer experience. Can you talk a little bit about how data has become such a most valuable asset for retailers? And how are your customers leveraging data today to uncover insights for their business?
No, great question. See, historically, retailers have carried tons of data, right? And they have done very little with it, for various reasons. And over the past 3 to 4 years, we've been great advocates of driving transformation through what we call as algorithmic business, right? How do we leverage the data and develop insights using powerful algorithms with the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques, and enable retailers to make decisions? What products to be stocking in which store and by how much? How do they make better buying decisions? How can they make pricing and promotional decisions real time, right? How do they offer new promotions, new products to existing customers? How do they attract new customers? How do they segment the customers? And how do they get to the segment of one, right? How do they drive personalizations? And the information is all there. It's a question of how they can harness this data and how they can make sense of this data and enable better decisions to people, on the floor, right? And the timing is very key, right? I mean, if we are able to use powerful algorithms to provide real-time decisions and enable the retailers to make such decisions extremely fast, real time, their ability to drive significant top line as well as the bottom line while providing a very enriching customer experience is a lot greater than what it is today, right? So that's really the opportunity. And if I can quote a specific example at Walgreens, right? Both TCS and Microsoft came together and created what we call as information, data, and insights platform using Azure services. The pharmacists are dealing with 8 million customers a day, and they're dealing with over hundreds of millions of prescriptions being dispensed every year. If we can provide them, with a real-time platform to be able to dispense these prescriptions a lot faster, spend less time in dealing with the transactional activity and more time advocating the customers in terms of what they should and shouldn't do, provide them with information well ahead of time, they are able to transform the patient experience significantly. That is the potential that we've been able to enable together. And that's the art of the possible, right? With what we can do with the data.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity is tremendous, just to harness that data and make real-time decisions from insights. Okay, last question. We heard a lot about the Microsoft Cloud for Retail earlier in the session. What opportunities do you see for something like the Cloud for Retail as you think about transformation in the industry? And what advice might you give retail leaders in terms of where they should focus on technology in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think we are looking at the Cloud for Retail in 3 horizons. The first horizon is about migration and modernization of the existing business and technology investments onto a cloud platform. And again, here, TCS and Microsoft are working together with a number of retailers to help them migrate and modernize to the Azure platform and architecture. So there is a tremendous amount of investment. It's a question of what is the level of technology debt that these retailers have that creates a path and safe path to migrate and modernize. So that's the first horizon that we are very, very excited about. In parallel, the second horizon is about how do we leverage the cloud first and cloud native principles. So we are making significant investments in building capability, specifically the cloud native, capabilities, and ensuring that as we go into the new investments that the retailers need to make, how do we enable them to be cloud first, right? So we are historically a services organization, but at the same time, our focus in retail and our deep contextual knowledge in retail has allowed us to explore opportunities where we can significantly accelerate some of the business capabilities. So particularly in the merchandising space, the point of sale space, right? So we have created, intellectual property and solutions like Optumera, like OmniStore. And all of these investments are made cloud ready. They are Azure ready, right? So they are, being offered as part of the Microsoft Cloud for Retail, right? So that's a significant investment that we're making to ensure that when the retailers look for new investments, they leverage the cloud for retail, right? And the third, horizon is about how do we bring multiple industry ecosystems together. So, for example, I talked about the Walgreens example. Now, this is a pharmacy capability that we have created. Now, using the data and insights that we can generate, how do we enable the retail part of the business to increase their top line and bottom line through cross-sell and upsells? What opportunities can we create by adjacencies from the store footfall that they're seeing, from their patients, right? So that's an opportunity. The second opportunity, for example, is the information that they have with respect to immunizations. Can that enable a very seamless travel possible, right? So can we create an ecosystem between the healthcare, retail, and the travel ecosystem, and again, increase or improve the customer experience, and thereby, getting a much better experience for the existing customers as well as attract a lot more new customers to their business. So this is a horizon 3 that we're looking at. So we have a 3 horizon approach to transform the way the retailers do business today into the new world.
Yeah, I love your comment on industry convergence and ecosystems. I think that is the future in creating this next generation customer experience. So thanks so much, Shankar, for sharing your insights and feedback. Wonderful you could join us, and look forward to our ongoing partnership.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to close this out. Look, there's one thing that's clear is the retail industry has changed and continues to change at a breakneck speed. There are just so many challenges that lie ahead. And one thing for sure is there's never been a more exciting time to be at the intersection of technology and retail. I am super excited about the Microsoft Cloud for Retail. It's going to be a real game changer for our retail customers across the globe. And I can't wait to partner with all of you on your digital transformation journeys. Thank you all so much for joining. Really appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day.
Oh, welcome back. David, and every
hello.
Yeah, every
that
other
was
person
interesting
out there, and you can see the essence of the party now. Now we have seen several things that is being discussed. One thing I picked out is the bias, especially when it comes to my data is being taken by Microsoft. I know this is something we hear every time when we go for discussion or for solution consulting. And we know that the retail business is a business where most of our business in Africa can be categorized in that space. We have a lot of them there, and hopefully we believe that this kind of discussion can help us. Now, we have quite creamy number of panelists, which outline according to their business function, their space, and what they are comfortable with. As the case may be, we're going to go into the discussion, and the way we want to go into discussion here is to be able to highlight the points from the video and apply it to our own environment, especially Africa and Nigeria. How do we leverage on this technology to improve business, retail business in our environment? Now, just as in the party, we have several tables on the party, and most time you see people going from one table to the other. We have several people here, and they have their own core space, which they are very comfortable with, and we'll be moving from one to another. So the way we are going to play out this party is that once we get to your table and you know the person that is close to you there, all you need is to call the name and the person will introduce himself. So we start with the first set of people. We're going to the first table now, and the first person I want to call on to start the party is Mr. Kokola. Mr. Kokola, are you right there? Can you hear us?
Yeah. I can see Mr. Kokola, but I can't hear him yet. And I can see that he's fully dressed in his Owambe attire.
But we can't hear him.
Yeah, we can't hear him. I think you may just need to unmute the microphone. I think there may be a
unmute your microphone
somewhere.
So the way we are going to do the party is that you come in, you describe yourself and your space. You describe yourself, you talk about your space, and you give us like something to hold on, especially with this party of the retail business for the cloud technology. Can you describe yourself in some few minutes, less than 10 seconds?
All right, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you are listening and watching. My name is Kokola Isaka Olamileka. Don't mind my attire. I have been part of an alumni association where we are having our annual event. So I just have to go outside to attend to this call because it's also very important to me. Kokola Isaka is my name. I am Microsoft certified trainer. I'm Microsoft certified data analyst. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay. That is brief and that's precise. And we're going to bring the next person in, and the person will actually just describe himself. Who are you, and what Michael Olafusi. Please, can you describe yourself in just a few seconds?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Michael Olafusi. Also in the data analysis space, an MVP in data platform, also MCT, and pretty much a few other certifications. And it's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
I'm wondering where your cap is, Mr.
It's exactly where yours is.
I don't have one. If somebody posts one to me, I'll happily put one. Like
don't worry, I'll get one for you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Michael Olafusi. Mr. Michael Olafusi is in the data space, and you can see from what the GM was saying, data is really the core for retail business. And the future is saying that data will be used. So we're going to bring someone else into the party, and the person will help us to just describe himself briefly too, and tell us about himself. Now, can we call on Mr. Kofi? I call him Sir Kofi. Yeah. Sir Kofi from United Kingdom. Can you just describe yourself? Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be part of this program. My name is Kofi, and I'm actually into security and the cloud. I'm actually Microsoft MVP. Recent MVP essentially. So I'm really, really happy for that. And I'm also MCT as well. So I'm happy to be part of this panel.
Thank you.
And it's also into Bitcoin. And
hell yeah.
It collects specialized painting. You can see the painting behind him.
Yeah,
That's
NFT.
like,
It's
like,
NFT very soon.
it's probably like one that has like the fewest copy in the world. Is like probably like £6,000 or something like that. You know?
Wow. Wow. So he's a multi-talented person apart from IT. So we're going to tap on your security posture when it comes to retail business, because there's a lot of bias. You can see the GM, the other guy that spoke was talking about the bias about people are saying, is my data going to go off, and the likes like that. So we appreciate you. Now we're going to bring the first lady, that will be joining us this afternoon. Her name is Olayinka Oke. Can you just describe yourself briefly?
All right. Hi. Good evening, afternoon, whatever time of the day where you're watching us. My name is Olayinka Oke, like Sheyi rightly said, and I'm a data analyst. Yeah, I do data. I'm Microsoft certified data analyst. I also serve as Power BI coach in different jurisdictions. Yeah, that's it for me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Welcome to the party. We are just on the first table now. We are going to serve you your menu. Is it ice cream you want? Is it Coke? Is it Fanta? We are going to start serving you with those questions so that you can actually help us to bring. Now, the last person we're going to bring, I think, David, do we still have more people in? I think Paul Barnabas. We're going to bring Paul Barnabas to join us now.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and bring Paul in. Yep. So we got Paul in now.
Yeah. Is it on?
So I can't see Paul on, but we do have others. Oh, you can see Paul. Paul is on now. Yeah.
Paul, please, can you describe yourself? Just describe yourself in the less than 10 seconds, please.
We cannot hear you. I think your mic may not be muted, Paul. May not be unmuted. So we can see that you're saying something, but we just can't hear yet.
Why are we still sorting that?
Okay.
Can we bring out the next person?
Yeah. Is it something that we want to proceed and then we can bring up the next table, Mr. Sheyi, or do you want us to bring on more people?
Okay. Let's just proceed with this table. Now, we all have watched the video. And Paul, are you ready to describe yourself?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you are joining us. I'm excited to be here. So my name is Paul Barnabas. I do data, I do analytics. I currently lead a BI team in one of the FMCGs here in Nigeria. It's a pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you too. So now we are going to start the first menu. You have watched the video. What do you feel? Retail business in Africa. Now, let me just paint a scenario. You find out that every shop you get to in Lagos, I live in Lagos, and most time you find out that what is described in this video is what they are actually having. They have their store, but most of them are not leveraging on this technology that makes the business more fluid and ensure better sale, leveraging it on AI and data. And I can see we have a security person here. We have a data. We have someone that play in the Power Platform and Power BI. So I want you guys to just, in your own view, because this is the first table I'm coming to, what do you feel can be applicable to us in Africa? How do we use this retail cloud for retail and make a better ecosystem for ourselves? So I'll start from Mr. Akpokwola. I know he's already in the regalia for a party. So I know you want to get into the party. You want to get into the party.
You have to call the chief first. You have to call the chief first. So, you know. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for bringing this discussion on table. I watched very keenly the discussions at the Ignite 2021, especially when the CEO of Microsoft was unveiling about six products that will drive technological innovations in the years to come. And with particular reference to retail business, you will see that most of the products, the six products that he mentioned, the likes of Microsoft Mesh, I have a list of them, Microsoft Mesh, webinar on Microsoft Team, new synergy between Team and Dynamics 365, the Microsoft PowerPoint Live available on Team, the Power Platform upgrade, and the Azure perceptive democratization of AI. So if you look at those six products, you can see that Africa has not lived to that extent. We are still at this part of the world where we are struggling with even the products that are on table, how people accept the products on the table. The likes of Azure, for instance, now, it was the aftermath of COVID-19 that people started to be agitating for remote business, remote work, how to manage customers, how to manage businesses. So up to the moment, we are still yet to see the enterprise organizations, moving entirely into the cloud through the product of Azure and some of its auxiliary support. So with the recent innovations that Microsoft has brought on board through the Ignite, I foresee that there will be a gap for some time where corporate organizations, retail organizations in Africa will still take time to leverage on that technology. People in Africa will do wait for a while to see how it has been practicalized somewhere else and see the advantage it can bring on board to our businesses so that we can be able to adopt it. But what is good about Africa is anytime we take it up, the world will run after us. That when the African take this up, they have overtaken the world in terms of usage, in terms of adoption, and in terms of usage. So for me, I foresee that for a while, it may not pick up very quickly from Africa perspective, but over a time, I see Africa taking a lead in the usage, in the adoption, and in the practicalization of those products. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kokola. That's a bit side to bring also the perception that the readiness for Africa in the threshold of your percentage is still very, very low. And why? Because you feel that the enterprise space are not really leveraging on utilizing the cloud to ensure their business to be very fluid. So I will bring another person, and he's also in the data space. Now, why I'm bringing him because he's coming from the bottom up. He's a financial analyst. He does financial modeling now, and I know he has so many customers that he has been working with from both the enterprise space and from the retail and perspective. So I'll bring Michael Olufusi on. Michael, now you heard what Mr. Kokola just said. This is your table. We are still serving. What is the chopstick, and we are bringing the spoon and the plates. Now, what we are seeing what Microsoft is envisioning for the future when it comes to retail business. Now, from the bottom up, what can you see as a way we can bring this readiness that Mr. Kokola is saying that is not yet there?
Okay, I'll start a bit from a more, shall I say, generous perspective. That the truth is, we are not doing that bad. Yes, we are kind of still not as embracing as most other developed countries are, but yeah, we have to also acknowledge that many companies are also beginning to play in that space, and even companies that you look at and you think that they are more traditional, either because of the age of the people leading the company, the age of the company, or cost cutting processes. So I still agree fully with what Popola said. I just want to, try and rub some other people's heads and say that yes, we appreciate the small progress, the small efforts. It's big in their own space, but even globally, might carry that. So, back to where I am seeing the most of the work needing to happen. To be sincere, people are interested, and the world is now a global space. Everybody, you'll be amazed by how much our fellow people in the business space, non-technical people, how much they are aware of this technology. They might not know how to use them, but they are aware of, say maybe I'm in FMCG, they are aware of the fact that people are now beginning to use customer insights, customer perception in how they package their product, in placement on shelves. But as 4 years ago, I was already hearing people creating solutions, not just talking about creating solutions around where, the fridges in in these malls, and even not just big malls per se. Most of all these retail companies, let me even mention them since they are that few, and it's not like maybe mentioning one is giving a free advert over another. So think about the beverage space. So we know there's 7-Up, there's Coca-Cola, there are many other ones, Chi, and a few. Let's even talk about the non-alcoholic beverage space. So what were they doing? Most of these manufacturers, they provide this fridge, these chillers, where it's their own property. So they provide to, say, Mr. Shea has his own store, they provide it to, Shea store, and it's Coca-Cola, so you stock only their own products there. And then they also, what they now do is, they want to be able to say, when customers, so I walk into a shop, right, when I open that fridge, right, where does my hand go to first? Do I go to the Coke on the first layer, or I go to Fanta? So they have this thing that is measuring where I'm going and picking things. And you know what that does? Because they are getting it at their own hand directly. They're able to know, they are doing their demand planning better, their production planning better, their what to, they don't even have to, when you own a store and they are bringing more of a particular product than what you want, and you're fighting them, no, I want more of Sprite than Fanta, or I want more of Pepsi more than Mirinda. And so what I'm trying to explain is that this is 4 years ago, I think even 5 years ago, that somebody was building this, and there was that desire, there was people using, the thing that they were considering as problem is not what most of us are thinking of as what they are considering. Is the fact that, okay, the consistency, how they will power the device so that when there is no electricity, the thing is not now. That's the only part they were trying to find a more active way to support the data gathering in such a way that electricity will not be the problem that is now breaking that chain. But back to where I'm seeing the work laying thickly first is in the data gathering, making sure that there are those systems that help them to gather those information in a non-human way. Nobody wants to be having people, even if you're open to it as a store owner, how many will you have? You have people for Cadbury product, people for Unilever product, people for like 20 different companies. They're having their own human being who will be walking around meeting customers. Is that not already the kind of sophisticated begging that we avoid in on the street and on some place? You want to walk into a market, like your airport experience. You walk in, you do what you want to do, you see the screen, you see what that someone is trying to hustle you, come buy my product, come buy. So they find out that technology is still the best way, rather than them having human beings physically in those stores trying to upsell, cross-sell, do some intelligent marketing with these technology devices. That's why it's interfaced with the IoT and some bit of it. Cybersecurity folks will be talking more about all of that. But for us on the data side, what it gives us is the data that the company now uses to make all this better planning. They are seeing the last mile customer interaction. So I'm going to have to round off here so that I give chances to other people. But I think you get where I'm trying to say in terms of the interest is there. I have to give it to business owners in Nigeria. They are beginning to be open to all kinds of ideas. They are no longer saying this is the way we used to do things, right? So the only issue is just that, yes, the groundwork that needs to happen is also huge. That data for it to come out, a lot of other people, security guys, device guys, electricity self, a lot of things need to come into play. So that's what I want to say. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Michael. And that's another good perspective that this has the journey has already started in Africa, and from what you have said, several people has already making a way to make that happen. David, I don't know whether you take the next set of questions. I want to bring Paul and Onyekonsola. Let me bring Onyekonsola up on this table while you bring Kofi and Paul. Security and data with AI. I think Paul play in that space. Onyekonsola, you are in the financial space, and I know several banks in Nigeria, several enterprise banks are doing several package. I know of Sterling, where they are actually doing something for the retail business. There's like an e-commerce environment they are creating, ensuring that you can have access to play out in the big market, get your products there, they finance you and the rest. So in that perception rather, do you feel that we can leverage from the retail business out there, people out there that have store can leverage on this ecosystem to launch on this cloud technology?
You mean Onyekonsola or Olayinka?
Yeah, Onyekonsola, Olayinka. Olayinka, sorry. Oh, that's
she
was just looking and smiling.
I was really confused. So I was hoping that maybe you were bringing up the Onyekonsola. But yes, okay. Like you said, a lot of organizations in the financial space, I mean, we're beginning to leverage on cloud technology and a lot of that to power not just our business, but even the business of the customers that we serve. And I think that back to what Popola said, when adoption is low, it's usually because maybe people don't understand how useful this is to them. And what the financial institutions, for example, always do is bring the product to the level of your customer. Now let your customer know that, hey, because we always say that to proffer service to somebody, you need to understand the person's problem. So when you're telling your customer that your SME business, I understand your retail business, I understand that sometimes you have too much staff, and then that's the time that nobody's coming to buy. And the time that people are coming to buy, you don't have enough staff. You let them know that you understand their problem, and then you explain to them how this solution is going to help them. Now, not necessarily on the financial services side, but something I found really interesting in that video, it was the idea of the connected spaces. There's so much that can be done with it. Because, for example, on a normal day, a retail store might know that, during work hours, there'll be low footfall, and maybe you don't need a few staff, and then after work hours. But then with the new normal, people are working remotely. You can't really predict what time people are going to come to your store. And that's where AI comes in. Also, bringing it back home to Nigeria or maybe Lagos, fuel price might go up very soon, and people don't want to go out of their houses. They just want to shop online. So that means that there's going to be a lot of dynamics. Things are going to be changing. And you need to be able to decide, like, you don't have the whole month to decide that, people are no longer coming to the store. So when you use like connected spaces, and it was interesting because the man mentioned that now you're using what you already have. It's not that like you need to buy new hardware. So maybe, for example, you already have a CCTV camera in your store. You just need to plug that to the AI models that Microsoft has already provided. And that's where you can sort of, in 2 days, you can sort of know that, okay, this is what the footfall is like, or And you can also easily sort of rearrange your staff. So at the time, maybe in the morning, there was a lot of footfall. In the afternoon, people are now ordering online. So you can reallocate your staff and say, okay, instead of being a cashier at this time, go and fulfill orders coming from online. And then you really need to do online. You can't just decide that, oh, people have to come to my shop to buy. E-commerce is the new normal. So yes, I just believe that if businesses are able to understand, you can bring it home to them and let them see how it's going to help their businesses, then the adoption is going to come even more than we expect. And in the area of shift management and inventory planning is where I think this is going to come very handy for retail stores. And yeah,
thank you, Olayinka. I will not make a mistake now, Olayinka, and thank you for that insight. And I also want to tell via out there, whether you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, you're watching us. If you have specific question for the panelists, just send it in. We have 2 tables here. This is just the first table. We are moving to the next table in a short while. And if you have any question, just shoot it in, and we will ask them why they are still sitting on their table and getting their food set. David.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Paul and Kofi.
Yeah, that's very interesting take. Olayinka, thanks very much for that. And thanks very much also, Mr. Pokwala and Michael. For that. So one of the things that very, very confused about is some of the issues that we've not been able to solve. It's down to what Olayinka mentioned. We're not actually even, I don't even think that we're collecting the data, right, to begin with, right? We're not even collecting like the necessary type of data. But one of the things I was also having a conversation with someone on is sort of like the maturity of the importance of security when it comes to this process. So when we begin to look in this process and adopting some of the interesting things that the others are talking about, you find that the way that has been adopted, security really comes last. In many cases, we don't even think security at all. And we don't think about what we're collecting all this data, right? How secure is where we're storing all this data? Can someone easily get access to those data and then begin to, use that to, for their own personal, selfish or dangerous goal that they may have in mind and other types of stuff? So that's where we bring in like Sir Kofi. So Sir Kofi, what are some of the things that we just need to keep in mind when we begin to when organizations are beginning to look to adopting some of these technologies to sort of drive efficiency and drive productivity for their customers? Do they need to be concerned about security? Do they need to be, or security is not an issue that we should be concerned about in Africa? Is that sort of like the Western world problem, and that's not our problem? Let's just get the productivity going and we'll get to the security later. What sort of like your thoughts around that?
Thank you, Sir David. Right. So security, I mean, as you say, physical security and obviously protecting your assets digitally online. Both are essential. You cannot do without security. So moving to the cloud or trying to move your shop to the cloud, that's one of the core things that you have to think about. You need to ensure that there is ways you can protect your data. Right, Africa as a whole, some of the issues that we encounter, the reason why we might think that it's not affecting us is because we're not adopting those technologies, right? Because the moment you start to think about adopting it, you need to think about security. But for us to start, government have to play a role, right? Because the reason why I say government have to play a role is that there are certain things that are actually frameworks. They are just like a structure. You don't need to invent them from scratch, right? And sometimes when the government get involved, making sure that these things are in place, it helps and also make people adapt to those type of technology. And also when people are getting to those technologies, they don't need to invent the wheel, right? And one of the most important thing that if people move to the cloud is most of these services are there already. The security are more like a service. So for example, if they use software as a service, there will be certain components of security that will be built into the product, which it will help them to leverage on it. And then they don't need to invent the whole security. Another thing would be, let's say, data sovereignty, right? One of this also be some of the part that government have to make it possible, because in the Western world there are a lot of, like, for example, Microsoft, AWS, all of them have data centers all across the globe, right? But it's not major in Africa. And having data, let's say there's a data center in West Africa, we create that pool of, like, data sovereignty, whereby we can know that our data are localized, helping us to use that information shared across many organizations, creating that form of ecosystem for where we make our bulk purchase to getting that sort of, like, goods transfer. Travel to the shops. All these things need that kind of, like, a structure in the form of, like, an ecosystem, right? And all of them have to be protected in some form, right? And so it's crucial that we have this kind of, like, data. And in Africa, another thing would be, let's say, increase in fraud, right? So then we need to ensure that we leverage on data to ensure that we understand what exactly people are buying, the credit card they're using, how do we tie it to a specific person, right? I think many of these African countries are now introduced what we call a linking, let's say, a specific phone number to an identity, which is quite crucial. Doing that, leveraging upon that one will help investors to come in, because then they know that now we are now going to reduce certain security risk, right? And doing that, it will help people also get to use these services, right? Because I know for a fact many of you will receive calls whereby people will pretend to be someone else, trying to find a way to, let's say, take your money. But you obviously they know that, okay, mobile money is now used a lot, it's been adopted a lot because it's helping everyone in Africa, right? And now people, the danger of that one is that people can call you and then pretend to be someone else, trick you to move your money, right? So with that, if we have some form of security whereby there's an identity to that specific number, it helps to obviously limit people who will try to take advantage of that. And doing so will help people to adapt and move their services to cloud, right? Because one of the things I see is that it's always, always an issue, and especially with the current COVID issues, it has accelerated the digital adoption. It's crazy how it's going now. It's everywhere. I mean, you heard about NFT. I mean, cryptocurrency is going crazy. Even now, crazy thing is metaverse, whereby quite recently I was just watching a video whereby people were actually making purchase. I mean, through metaverse, you can go in there and make those purchases, and those things are services that we can leverage in Africa. We don't need to invent any wheel. The services are already there, but adoption is what have to be picked up. But security play a major role. They have to be the measures in place to ensure that people trust the system to get into those services. And another issue also would be, I think most of the guys in the panelists have mentioned that electricity, right? That's another problem. Electricity, you might not think is major, but actually, it's obviously everyone think is major, but that will obviously deter businesses from getting to the cloud. Internet as well. Those sort of services have to be like very, very good, right? Once those infrastructure are extremely good, people know that, okay, now I can actually work on these systems without worrying about, let's say, loss of data, right? And many investors will also come to Africa because they will know that, okay, the infrastructure is already there. Electricity is rampant. They don't need to worry about like physical security. The government have put measures in place to ensure that all these data centers are protected. All the electricity being provided. Internet services are all rampant, right? So there's a lot we have to do, but we need to start now. Wherever we have understanding our current ecosystem, We just have to tap in and then use that one by continuously developing what we currently have, and obviously making sure that security play a major role. This will help other people to jump onto it, just like people jump onto mobile money. The same thing, adopting those technology will help us to obviously move forward, because the Western have adopted majorly, and we also have to do the same.
Wow, that's so powerful. Security drives trust. Trust drives adoption. That's powerful. That's powerful. Can adopt if we can trust the system. So I think that, Mr. Sheyi, I think that what we'll do is that we'll go, I think, do we still have Paul Barnabas? Oh, no, we don't have Paul Barnabas anymore. So, but okay, do we want to just get final thought from our current table? Just final thoughts, and then we can go to the next table and serve the next menu. So for the final thought from our current panelists, so thanks very much, just interesting thoughts. In your view, like, do you think that the challenges that exist to adopting some of these capabilities, so challenges around ability to collect the necessary data, challenges around ability to analyze the data, do you think that these are challenges that with our current pace, we are fit enough to overcome these challenges, let's say in the next 1.5 years? Or is it something that you think would take longer for us to get to a place where we're able to adopt like all these amazing technologies to collect useful data, analyze this data, extract insights, and make that common for just normal small businesses all across the continent? Like, what are your thoughts? The challenges, things that you think that we'll be able to overcome in a shorter time, or is it something that you think will probably take us a while to get to?
I'll say a very quick one is that, interestingly, we have companies who are already solving these challenges. I know of Trade Depot, there's Order, we also just raised another money, Order, ORDA. Trade Depot is Trade DPOT. So I want to say that no matter the challenges, there are people tackling them and they are making money. Trade Depot has raised over 100 million USD, I think. So that's what I just wanted to say. So let me let
nice. No, thanks very much for that. So in your view, we'll be able to tackle them easily. So let's go over to Olayinka, and then Sakofi last.
Sorry. Okay. I quite agree with Michael in that, there's a whole lot of, if you go to any this thing, there's one startup or the other coming up with a solution to, nobody has come up with a solution to electricity yet. But I get, because we have found a way to work around it over time, I feel like it's just the way COVID caught up with us and somehow we found ourselves working remotely. Like, I know organizations that thought that, no, it's never possible, people can never work remotely. But somehow, because COVID caught up with us, we worked remotely. And then we saw that, it's been possible all the while. So I really think that we're not going to take so long. I think that in 1-2 years, for the big organizations, I feel like they're going to be able to adopt these things. So in reference to retail stores, like the likes of ShopRite or Spar, they will catch up with these things early enough. Maybe not the small mom and pop shops by the roadside. Maybe those ones will take a while. But also, what I also know is that in the startup space, there's a lot of small companies, there's a lot of startups, that are creating these solutions in a way that SMEs can access it. So they sort of create like a pool where you don't need to have the whole infrastructure. You just tap into the one that we already have. But then that would take a while. But the bigger organizations, I think that will get there very soon.
Wow. So that's very interesting take. So in your opinion and in your thoughts, for the larger organizations, like what Michael said, they have the money to be able to make the investments. They'll be able to tackle this quickly. For the smaller, medium organizations, they'll probably need other partners to come alongside them to develop solutions that are affordable, and then they'll be able to get on board. So that's why we need people like you, people like Mr. Sheyi, to develop solutions for these smaller businesses and then sell it to them at scale, and then I can visit Mr. Sheyi in your mansion, and then, anyways. So, Mr. Kofi, what's your take?
All right, so there's a saying that adversity makes a man, right? Even though there are these issues, we just have to obviously tackle it. I mean, there are short-term wins. There are certain things that can be done in the short term that will help. And one other thing is that the early adapters are always going to win as well. So you just have to get in there, right, and do what you can do with what we have. Knowing our environment is essential. There is lack of electricity, but we also know how our people behave, right? I mean, there will be probably a meeting or people will be late, right? You can't stop that, but you work with what we have. So my idea is that we just have to work with what we have, and then from that, there'll be a better solution somewhere along the line. And just like we develop softwares, I mean, it's not like you just develop the software, I mean, one software and everything is done. It's all about incremental update. So the same process have to apply here.
So in other words, we're going to be able to make some progress initially, maybe some little progress here and there, and we just have to just start from somewhere and just begin to just improve on it from there.
That's
well,
right.
It's been an interesting conversation from our first table panelist, Mr. Sheyi. So thanks very much. Really appreciate you taking the time to join us. You can all go over to, have your hamala and eba and yagusi soup and all kinds of amazing food. so thanks very much for joining us today. So really appreciate it. Yes, thanks. Mr. Sheyi, we have our second table.
Yes, we are going to the second table right away, where we have to call in another set of people who are going to give us their own perspective about the video. Now, we have with me Bernard. Can you just briefly come up and describe yourself in 5 seconds?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Bernard Obin Boateng, and I am in the data space. I'm a financial modeler, MCT MVP. I'm founder of Finest Skills Hub here in Accra, Ghana, and I'm happy to join you. I have little news though. I understand Ghana is playing Nigeria, so we'll be seeing ourselves more in the World Cup.
Really? I've not been following the game. I didn't know that.
So we are looking forward to an exciting match. Yeah.
It's always historical, and it seems that Nigeria always take the day. But I'm not sure this year. I'm not sure.
All I'm going to say was whoever wins, I'm going to be happy. Whoever wins. So.
We're going to bring in Osinachi to come and just describe himself briefly.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Osinachi Chukujama. I am a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. I'm also a software engineer. And yeah, that's me basically. So I'm happy to be on this panel session.
You forgot the AI Guru part.
Okay. Paul said he's back. He has a network issue. Okay. Let's also bring in Promise. Okay, can you just describe yourself in 5 seconds? 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's not possible. That is not possible. How long will it count all the acronyms?
Hello, everyone. I hope you all can hear me, though.
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. My name is Promise Uche Unwachuku. I'm a certified solutions architect expert, and I am more into the cloud operations and the DevOps space. These days they say the DevOps thing is what is reigning. And luckily enough, I've had to build some career in this part, and I'm happy to be in this space, and I'm also growing, in this space. So yeah, I'm a MCT. Well, I'm looking forward to be an MVP soon. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we also have Oyi Consola. That's the second. Okay. Yeah. Please, can you just describe yourself briefly in seconds.
My name is Oyin Konsola Oke. I'm a cloud engineer and in the Azure space. I'm also a unified communication with over 10 years experience, and I'm glad to be among MCTs and MVPs. Hopefully I'll be one soon. Thank you.
Obviously, the sky is the limit. We can all be. So we also have I don't know whether Deji is at the backstage now. Are you Deji?
Not yet, but you can see we have Mr. Lanre, we have Paul.
Okay, Mr. Lanre. Let Mr. Lanre come up. Paul has already introduced himself. He can just join. Yeah, that's a Canadian man. Canadian security man. Is it Canada or US? Yeah, you are growing big now.
No, I'm presently in the US right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can you just describe yourself in a few seconds? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks, guys. So nice to be here. And this is a great platform and discussing great topic as well. My name is Larry Macaulay Fagbayi. Been in security space for quite a while, right? Both on-prem and cloud. So when cloud came up, it was just a part of it. So security, architecture, DevSecOps, security engineering as well. So cut across different domains in security, not just on the cloud. For me, cloud is a level playing field right now. So talking AI and all that, they all come together. The new phase I am right now is security as code, right? So it's pretty interesting to be here. Topic as well. I'm an MCT. Hopefully, Sheyi, we handhold me up to become an MVP. Okay, so looking forward to that.
My hand is up, but I believe everyone we have the chance. We have the chance. Yeah. So I don't know whether there is another person at the backstage, David.
No, I think we got everybody at the moment. So Mr. Deji just joined now. Yay, finally. He got in.
Mr. Deji on. Can you describe yourself in a few minutes? And I hand over the distribution of the spaghetti, the shawarma, and everything for this table to Olana. Olana, please take over from me from this point.
I think Olana can hear us. I'm not sure if she can hear us.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your voice is a bit low though.
Oh,
it's like it's far away.
Apologies.
Yeah, I can tell that these are some of the
Can you hear me? Am I audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you a bit better now. It's a bit better. Yes.
Okay. 1 minute.
So while Olana is fixing the mic, Mr. Deji, can you introduce yourself in about 10 seconds? Are you able to introduce yourself in about 10 seconds? Just describe yourself and maybe describe your space where you're joining us from. Okay, I think Mr. Deji's camera has frozen and I think Olana's connection dropped. Okay, Mr. Sheyi, okay. I think you need to kick back.
Okay, it's coming back to me. So yeah. I have this menu. I have pepper soup. I have Ofe Onugbu. I don't know whether Larry have had Ofe Onugbu before.
It sounds like something I would like to eat. I've not had it before.
You really need to have a taste of it.
So please, we have watched the video. Now, the last table, they were able to give us some very peculiar suggestion in terms of how we can leverage the cloud using the data we have and enabling the environment that is secure so that we can bring confidence to the African business ecosystem. Now, we want to go more detailed, especially we have people on this table that are core infrastructure people, DevOps people. We have people that are in security. We have people that live on data. And this is your comfortable area. And we have someone that is in software, also in the AI space. So I start with Paul. It's not bad last time. He plays more on the data, the security, the data and the AI area. Now, how do we, and I know you work in one of these big enterprise firm that also leverage on retail sale. So what do you think it's what we need now? Seeing what the video is saying, and how do we leverage on that to make an improvement in our business system in Africa?
Okay, thank you very much, Shay. So I think first of all, technology is an enabler. There has to be a problem that we're trying to solve. And we've gone through different processes. We've tried to identify ways that we can solve them. And most times it's deciding, okay, which is the best technology. At this point, we're talking about Microsoft Cloud, how it can enable us. And I think looking at one of the very peculiar situation or challenges for most FMCGs today is transportation and logistics. Looking at the situation of the country at the moment now, we find out that there are a number of factors that essentially can hamper the progress of any logistics business. Either is owned by the business, either is outsourced. And it's difficult sometimes to be able to track the performance, of some of these companies or these outlets. So for me, I'm seeing the use of IoT devices, the ability of being able to measure the time it takes, either in terms of turnaround time, either the time it takes, at every queue. So for example, within an outlet, I'm using my company, for example, as an example. So it's an FMCG company, they deal with carbonated drinks, and one of the things that has been an issue over the years is being able to optimize the process of logistics, right? So how does the process work? You come into the plant, you post your returns, you move on, you get loading, like you get an activation to go get your trucks loaded. And in between all of these different activities, there are always lag time, there are always delay. And by the time you're able to measure the multiplying effect of moving from one queue to the other until you get your truck loaded and out of the compound to deliver to the customer, you might have lost a huge amount of hours. Now, look at the contributing factor of this is affecting the turnaround time, is affecting the time to deliver products. So if you don't deliver products on time, customers don't have products to sell. This is having a huge impact on the sales numbers. So looking at this from a perspective of how am I leveraging on Microsoft Cloud, right, to solve some of these issues. The use of IoT devices, which can give me real-time data as regards when this truck enters each of these queue. So I can capture that data. I can measure the idle time. I can measure the time it takes for loading each one of these, trucks, right? I can see the turnaround time it took for each truck to go deliver a product to the customer and when it returned back. This essentially gives an holistic view of how my logistics or distribution business or arm of the business is doing. Now, getting this data also now gives me more insight as regards how my staff is doing. So I get intelligence as regards my staff performance. I get intelligence as regards the performance of my logistic company. I also get insight as regards how my customers are getting products in relation to how they are also selling this product. So I'm looking at Microsoft Cloud being an enabler to get data, real-time data, represent this data with the use of Microsoft platform, either Power BI, embedding it in an application or providing this information in a report. And then this is triggering, business decisions live on the go because they are leveraging on real-time data. So for me, I'm seeing, this whole approach by saying, what is the problem? How do we solve that problem? How do we ensure we leverage on technology to solve this problem?
Yeah. Thank you, Paul, and I appreciate your time. Me too. Olana, I know you are back now, so
Yes.
I wanted to come back. So what we're saying now is that we are still discussing the video, and Paul was giving us a direction that one, there is an gray area in transportation, especially when it comes to retail business. How do the customer get their business? And if we don't take care of it by using the cloud technology, how do we now, how do we get people to, how do we stimulate it for people to use? So it's coming that we must know the problem and solve the problem. So the table is, I'm still serving the meal. So there are a lot of people you can serve the meal to now.
Yes,
So
thank you so
I hand
much.
it over to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shay. So basically, Paul has succeeded in summarizing the entire video in a few sentences. 2 words for me is unified experience. What Microsoft Technology basically is offering is unified experience, both from the business perspective as well as the customer's perspective. As a business, you use several applications, you do a lot of things, and these several applications generate different structures of data: unstructured data, semi-structured data, structured data, and you have to work with all of them. We have a lot of data guys in the house, and I am very sure they can relate with working with different data structures. Okay, so there are a lot of data in silos that you have to bring together to work with. So that is one. Secondly, talking about customers' experience. Before now, a lot of people go to stores to get stuff, and then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, most of the people are now accustomed to buying things online. So the e-commerce market is booming, right? When COVID happened, for businesses who are not online or who have like maybe zero or limited presence online, they really suffered. Some of them had to even shut down. But businesses that have like a lot of presence online, they could basically go ahead with their day-to-day business. Both businesses, retail businesses, and other businesses, they basically could thrive during COVID. So now, looking at processes during COVID and after COVID, how people are now more relaxed and want to shop online, different reasons. I do have my reasons why I want to shop online, all right? And I'm sure we all do, right? So moving forward, how is e-commerce going to look like? What is going to happen to our physical stores? How do we improve it? How do we make it better? So these are questions for both the developers in the house, the data guys in the house, as well as the infrastructure and security guys. But before we delve into that, I mean, this is a party. I don't know what we have been doing before now. I don't know how we've been having fun. I don't know how we've been showing the lights, but we need to do something. We need to, have a bit of a shift, right? We're discussing retail, we're discussing businesses, but how do we understand the challenges that all of these businesses have been facing? How do we understand the challenges with buying online and coming to the store? So briefly, I would want us to maybe talk about our different experiences with these retail companies. Talk about our experiences. What are the bad experiences? What are the good experiences? Why do we even buy things online, right? Maybe I'll start first. Okay, so recently, like I said, this is a party and we need to make it fun. So recently, I had a friend who just got wedded and we needed to buy them a present, right? And there was a suggestion to say, oh, let's go to a store and pick up something. Well, I don't have anything against going out. In fact, I would love to say I love going out at this point, but maybe not so very much. But I suggested, why not let's buy something online? I have my reasons. First, I have options to different stores on one platform. I would not need to move around a lot. I would not need to go into several stores in order to get what I want. Secondly, I can look at different prices. I can compare the prices. I can also, more importantly, look at customer reviews. If I walk into the store, I will not go to different people. Oh, have you bought this item before? How did it work? But when I go to an online platform, I can see people's reviews, right? It would probably suggest what to get. Is it good? Is it durable? Is it a best fit? I can do all of that, right? But I also do have challenges. I have issues with, oh, okay, so yes, this product has a lot of reviews. How am I even sure these reviews are coming from real customers? How am I sure if I order for the white one, they won't bring me the blue one? So I have those concerns. Those are concerns from Olana, and these are the reasons why I would prefer shopping online than going to a physical store, right? I would not want to also stay on the queue. So that has been my experience with, going out to buy stuff and shopping online. So randomly, we can just take our different experiences, then we can talk around the different solutions that we can prefer as maybe software developers, as data analysts, or as security engineers. How do we tackle these different problems that would maybe come up from our different shopping experiences?
So I'll pick up from your COVID experience. If there's anything COVID taught us, I think it showed us that no business is resilient. So even for us trainers, we started thinking of ways to even teach online. And if we look at this part of the world, especially in Ghana, I see most people now prefer shopping online. My younger sister runs a boutique, and she recently decided to move where what normally they do is they show all their inventory on Instagram, and it's delivered using dispatch riders. Now, where I see Microsoft Cloud for retail very useful here is that these processes generate a lot of data. I understand we are currently generating about 40 petabytes of data. The retail solution offers one platform because you realize that the architecture is a modular architecture, but you have all your data on one space. And if you're a data analyst, this must be exciting because from the customer walking in, buying, and then also giving you feedback, you have all that data in one place. And as I watched the video, I realized that this is something that I think is going to be very useful for most retailers, especially in this part of the world. The fact that now the data is available, is live, you can leverage on that to also make good decisions. And I think this is very useful, and probably if most enterprises here and retailers can get on board, they will really benefit from this solution. That's what I have to share.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Like I said, a unified experience. So now this is from the customer perspective. Why not? Let's look at the business as well. So Microsoft has given us these technologies. How are we utilizing it? So for when we talk about security, we do talk about. I think one of the scenarios that was talked about in the video is cutting down queues, right? Trying to look at how you can take care of people staying long in the queue, look at fraud and all of that, right? So what are different security that has been put in place? If I am a business and I want to leverage this technology, how would I make sure that, how am I convinced that all of the security checks are in place? This has to do with AI as well. This also has to do with fraud detection and all of that. So I know we have Larry here, and we also have our AI guide on the call.
Okay, so I'm going to go first. So everyone has said so many things as regard to what retail has become in Africa. I'll tell you the truth, all around the world, if you're looking for where the population for retail is, it is Africa. And on the map of every FMCG company all around the world, Europe, anywhere, if they've not gotten to Africa, they've not started retail operation or business in a way. But the key concern in Africa is when you have population that can be good for retail, is good and also is bad. The bad part is the concern, as you mentioned, for the business, that if I have e-commerce, now we also saw what happened post-COVID. I'll have said post-COVID, we're still in COVID, sort of, right? We saw what happened immediately after COVID, right? We saw that a lot of people start moving to e-commerce. And I don't think the number will ever reduce, right? The way it was before, pre-COVID, is going to continue. Now, we all know Africa when it comes to spammer. They call them scammers, spammers, all the names you can call it and things like that. The biggest challenge for businesses is how do I cut down my losses related to frauds, right? And when I say frauds, there are different types of fraud now. There's purchase fraud, there's return frauds, there's account frauds, there's access frauds. People are different sort when it comes to e-commerce. There is even a particular person that I'm treating his case right now, sort of. So what happened is he went into an e-commerce platform to buy. And as he was buying, there was a bot within the e-commerce platform that captured all the session details, right? And the moment the person finished buying and logged out from the portal, the bot create a new session and buy using the person's detail, right? And the purchase was completed. So at the back end, they were seeing the same person making transaction 2 times, but the second transaction was huge in terms of payment. And so he actually received one product, right? But the deduction from his account balance was much. And then so he called the retail company, called the bank. The retail company said, you make the transaction. The bank said, of course, you make your payments. Everything was clear, right? And then I started doing forensics. This is the biggest issue that most of the businesses are facing. Then how can they resolve it? Now, Microsoft, with the Microsoft Cloud for Retail, they added the dynamic 365 fraud protection with it, right? And it means that you can do purchase protection. You can do return protection against return fraud. It means that if I buy a product and let's say for instance, I buy it online at a discount and I want to go back to the store to say, I don't want the product again, please take the product back. And I want to collect a full amount of the same product that I bought online as discount. The system, and this is where the adaptive AI comes in, right? The system risk threshold is configured enough to detect that you made a purchase and it's a particular account at a particular point in time and things like that. So you have purchase protection, loss control, right? Risk level detection already available within Microsoft Dynamics 365 for fraud protection, which of course, if you are considering implementing cloud for retail, you must look at that aspect of integration as well. So within your mind, as you are thinking your retail, you are thinking security, you are thinking privacy, you are thinking compliance as well.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Larry. So another thing I would want to put out there is, okay, I talked about some of the reasons why I love to shop online. When you get on this platform, you have a lot of recommendations based on what you bought previously or based on your lifestyle. Even if you have not been scrolling on that particular platform, somehow it just gets into your system and it looks at your location, it looks at all the things that you've been interested in, the ads that you get to watch, and it basically recommend things for you. And another thing that would have to do is getting into a physical store. So who recommends things for me? How would you know what I want? Watching that video, one thing I've noticed is that I think there's some sort of artificial intelligence that looks at how long a customer stays on a particular area of the business. And if the person is taking too long to make up their mind, they basically send an associate down to talk to you. I don't know if that has happened to us in a store before. You get to a store and you're just moving around or you're standing staring at things on the shelf and somebody comes, are you looking for anything? What can I do for you? So now, in situations where you have large stores, how do you deal with that? What I don't know, what machine learning, what artificial intelligence, what robots have Microsoft put in place to help us with that? How do we marry both of them? If I come online, is the experience different from when I go into a physical store? So how do they marry that? How do they merge it? I think, I don't know, our developers might be able to help us out here. How do we merge both the physical experience and the online experience together? And how does the artificial intelligence that was made for this, how does it help? How can we, marry both of them?
Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can
hear you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we all know that the online experience and the physical experience are totally different at this point in time, right? And the question you asked, we want to find a way to make the online experience somehow resemble the physical experience, bring the best of both worlds. Right? So in the online experience, you can shop from multiple stores and get recommendations based on what you have been going through recently. Physical experience, you can get an experienced person to talk to you about what you need to buy. So if we're dealing with connected spaces, right? For the online experience, we already have the communication systems put in place. And for the physical experience, if we can have a way to know our customers better, if a store the way to know its customers better, like have an index of all the customers that come to the store, and be able to get data of what they have been going through online, a store representative will be able to know what the customer wants and be able to attend to his needs better. So this will improve the physical experience, right? Getting data from what the customer has been doing online and making recommendations physically. Now for the online experience, improving it. So some people might not like the 2D nature of the online space, right? It's on a flat screen. It's on a flat screen, and you have to use all the search bars to look for products and things like that. So now that we're moving towards a more connected internet and maybe a metaverse kind of world, we could have store-like experiences. We could have intelligent store-like experiences in modern e-commerce applications. So we won't just have a flat 2D screen, but we can have person moving around, getting directions based on what they need. The store updating in real time to reflect what the customer wants to buy, right? So that's like a projection of what the future online stores could be. Yeah, so I think that's how we can leverage Microsoft Cloud for Retail to improve both the physical and the online experiences, and also bring in other Microsoft technologies like their metaverse offering. Yeah.
All right, so like you're getting me excited when you mentioned metaverse. That is something I am really looking forward to. I cannot contain my excitement on what the metaverse holds. So right now it is a buzzword to a lot of people. Let's not get into it. If we get into it, I'm sure we're going to spend 5 hours talking about the metaverse and we're not done. So in all of this, data is at the center of it all. Everything revolves around the kind of data we collect, how we collect this data, and not just collecting the data, what do we do with this data? First off, yeah, even before COVID, there have been a lot around e-commerce. There have been a lot of online stores. People have been selling on social media as well, but not a lot of people harness the power of this data. And we have discussed some of the reasons why. Silo data, different structures. Some people just believe, oh, okay, so if you don't see my business online, you're coming into the physical store. But right now, a lot of people have been pushed online and a lot of people have seen the different options that there is out there. So as a business, you need to up your game in every area, and data is what empowers you to do that. I know we have some really great data professionals in the house, and I know Microsoft has amazing tools to enable this. So given from conversation from the video and everything we've talked about, how does analytics come in? How does machine learning come in? What are the different models that can be worked on to make sure that this happens? We've talked about a lot of it, but we just need to, click on this so that our audience will see the bigger picture. So we do have Olainka. Olainka, I know you are a data professional. So let's just talk a little bit around data. We also have, please go ahead.
This is not Oyan, this is Oyin Consola, this infrastructure lady. Olayinka came in on the other table.
Great.
I made the same mistake. Don't worry. I call her Oyin Consola.
Okay, so we should have our other data professionals now. But please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. So I'm not actually a data professional, but I'll be talking from the infrastructure perspective. So I am actually the multi-channel fulfillment is actually a very cool feature that uses the Shifts app and the Task app within Microsoft Teams to fulfill the customer's order. And I believe that currently in Nigeria and I believe Africa, the e-commerce sector is booming because most small and medium scale businesses that were selling on Instagram, most of them have moved to e-commerce. Most of them have built their own websites because of the issue of Instagram blocking their accounts or the algorithm messing up with their account and moving to most of them are building their own websites right now. They would gain a lot from the insights, that the Microsoft Cloud for Retail and general forecast for their business is really. And I also like fact feature comes as a plugin because when I was watching the video, I was like, okay, would you expect customers to invest on probably there's a device or something they need? The fact that it's available as a plugin. I think they are using style to solve a particular big e-commerce website that did that previously. So they promise that they will and their data is safe. And also with the issue of security, I know in Nigeria we have the National Data Protection Regulation, which kind of like states one should where if you need to like protect it, and any breach you would pay a large sum of money as a fine. And I believe that them having their data with Microsoft, I believe they can use that as a leverage to fulfill that compliance regulation for their user data. And with like in my own experience with online shopping, sometimes I prefer to shop online, sometimes I prefer to shop in store because I think we are not really, there are sometimes that you shop for something and
did we lose her?
I think so.
Just when she's about to talk about when she's about to discuss the party. See, women know how to party. Everybody that had talked before now did not discuss their shopping experience. They didn't say anything fun. But you see, she wanted to say that. And now her network isn't so good.
I think you have lost that, but there's another infrastructure guy here. Promise.
Yes, Promise. I was just going to call Promise up to bail her.
Yeah.
All right. I would say I think I have actually enjoyed the online retail store itself, because I would say for the past, let me say, 2 years, or let's say 1.5 years, I've had to work from home, and I have seen myself in situations where, I'm always like tired anytime I want to go buy stuffs, or the stress of going to the market. I find myself in situations where anything I want, I have to look up online, try to see if I could get a video of the product, or, get some sample picture to understand what is it I want to purchase, and then I buy them. And like like almost everything in my house here, you know, like recently, even sometimes it boils down to the food. You understand?
Even food, soup.
The
I want to
food.
mention
I'm
soup.
telling you, it boils down to that. And for me, I see it as being on enjoying end-to-end services. So I'm a DevOps guy and infrastructure guy. And one of the things I do is enable businesses like this to be able to have their stores online. So just imagine now, you want to be able to ensure that, okay, for instance, there's a Black Friday, a whole lot of sales, and you at that point you want to ensure that, oh, my services don't go down, you know, I don't have a situation where there are lags. Now, Microsoft comes in here and offers an infrastructure for us to use. This time around, it's called a virtual machine skill set. So, depending on the amount of people who are trying to log onto your website, once the system detects that, oh, we have a high amount of people who are trying to log on, it automatically expands the instances that are backing up the website. So even with some few configurations, like say, okay, when you have the number of people logging into my website and they are hitting a high number of CPU, I want you to increase the instance behind the website by 1. So at every time where the CPU is hitting 70% and it stays at 70% for 5 minutes, the instances, they keep on increasing. Now, one of the beautiful things about this solution that Microsoft provides is that you are not bothered about cost until it is required. So if, for instance, I pay, let's say, 10 Naira, or let me just say $100 for 4 instances that are hosting my website, right? And I mean, I continue to know that at the end of the month, I'm going to pay $100. For instance, a situation where I'm organizing a very big sales event and I need a lot of people to come in, and actually on that specific day, a lot of people come in. All I am going to be paying for are the additional instances that are spinned up during that sales and nothing more. So in this case, Microsoft is providing us a solution that helps us reduce costs, right? And at the end of the day, we get to make that profit we want to make without paying so much on the infrastructure. And like you see, while I am able to make use of this knowledge on Microsoft infrastructure to enable these businesses, at the end of the day, the money I get, I also put it back in by ordering the food, by ordering those devices online. So you see, I think it's like an end-to-end service going on here. And I don't think, for me, that is stopping anytime soon. I feel like Microsoft keeps on giving us wonderful products, bringing industries together, right? Just for instance, now, this particular streaming event we are having is hosted on a particular server, right? So just imagine the amount of people connecting, trying to watch, and at the back end, you know, your CPU is increasing. You therefore don't need to pay so much, but just this additional instances that are spinned up. So you can see I've talked about the e-commerce industry. I've talked about the streaming services, those who provide streaming services to us. So you can see Microsoft is all about connecting industries together and bringing wonderful solutions at a very affordable price. So you can imagine, what more is there to say? Microsoft all the way. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much, Promise. So I think one thing that we've not touched here today that you basically just spoke about is how you get to cut costs using this. And you gave descriptions, like clear descriptions on how businesses can go about doing this, and which is elasticity. You can basically expand and close out when your business needs to, not necessarily acquiring infrastructure that you would not need for a long period of time. Thank you so very much, Promise. So I think what we were more or less almost rounding up, right? So I just want few words from all of our panelists. 10 seconds quickly. We need to close this out. For retail business owners out there, what solution would you recommend? How would you suggest we go about moving our business forward? End to end, like we've always talked about, from engaging customer to getting them to buy into our product, analyzing all of our data, customer data, product data, all of the customer experience, even employee experience. Like I said, it's not just a unified solution for just customers, it's a unified solution for most especially the business. Few words, 10 seconds, each panelist before we close out.
All right. I would just say that the way Microsoft is enabling businesses is to provide services for them that they need in expanding their businesses, right? So from the infrastructure point, Microsoft gives you an avenue to make use of services where you don't pay so much and you're getting quality service. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. Larry, do you want to say something on the security part before we move to the data aspect?
Yeah, I think the good thing is, yes, retail business has come to stay in Africa. The question is about how we're doing the business, right? So from the beginning of onboarding the customer down to when the purchase is being fulfilled, right? So from demand generation to distribution, you can bake in security into each of the layers, and that's what Microsoft has provided in Microsoft Cloud for retail, Cloud for Retail. So it means that at every point in time, you want the customer to trust you as they're having consistency experience across the omni-channels, right? So every point in time, you are guaranteeing the customer that the purchase they made online is the same thing when they come to shop to pick up the product or when the product is being delivered to them. So trust, security, they're just together.
Thank you so much. Kasola, I don't know if you're back.
Yeah. Yes, I'm back. Yes, the Microsoft Cloud for Retail.
For now.
Okay. The Microsoft Cloud for Retail would be like a boost to the e-commerce websites of some medium enterprises, in that it will give them insights on their produce, insights on their vendors, insights on their supply chain. And instead of them having to be, they don't have to be data experts to analyze the data their business is producing, the kind of the silos of data. They don't have to be experts. They can just see the insights. They can also do forecasting with the AI embedded within the Microsoft Cloud for Retail. That'll be all from me.
All right, thank you. Osinachi, few words before probably I go for the data guys, since I think our data guys have dropped off.
Okay, for me, it would be the way Cloud for Retail be used within existing solutions. So businesses with existing websites, they can easily log in Microsoft Cloud for Retail and have them to help them know their customers better and improve the end experience.
All right, thank you so much. Then for data and AI, in fact, let me say this. For all Microsoft technologies, Microsoft has integrated artificial intelligence. Before now, we've seen artificial intelligence is a buzzword. How does AI work? AI is everywhere. In cloud, when you're into cloud engineering, when you're into the software development, even the guys in the Power Platform space, we experience artificial intelligence in every bit of Microsoft technology. This also involves, when you talk of the data aspect of it, analytics is integrated into the solution. It analyzes your customer in as much as you can pick this data, in as much as you can collect this data, in as much as customers are engaging you online and even offline. All of this data is collected in one repository. And of course, you have artificial intelligence that basically run through all of this data and recommend to you. Recommendation systems are easily built. Cognitive services are there. All of the APIs are there for you to integrate into your system, integrate into your application. And of course, Nari has talked about, all of the security bits that Microsoft has covered. So you have more or less like an end-to-end view of your business that enables you make informed decision in real time. I think that is the catch here. Most organizations or most businesses, yes, they have this data, they get maybe weekly reports, some even go as close as daily reports. But what Microsoft is offering is getting insight into your business real time. A purchase is being made, a customer is not pleased, a customer needs options, in real time, and you're able to support your customers. That is what Microsoft has done. That is the solution that we're putting in our faces. And we know that a lot of businesses are going to embrace this, and let's see how this works for all of us. Shay, a few words before we close out.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And it has been a very good party. Although Olana and David has not shared any drink to me, I'm only seeing that virtually.
They will share rice, don't worry. One of our attendees just asked that when are we collecting our rice? And I told them, don't worry, we'll share rice.
Yeah.
We share rice. So,
my own experience is different. I only have some Chinese tea here. Sorry.
Generally, the third line is to be able to build a solution that can solve our immediate problem in Africa. And that is the drive I have in mind, whether the retail business. And you can see from the pool of experts this evening, or this afternoon, wherever you are calling in from, their perspective, integrating it into the holistic solution that Microsoft is giving us, is telling us that they can solve our immediate problem. People that have just one shop can elevate themselves into the pool of e-commerce and make more sales. And leveraging on retail cloud, it limits them from exposing them to problems, to issues. So that's just what I have. That there's limitless opportunity with this kind of technology. All we need to do is to leverage on it. And I also want, I don't know whether, David, we need your feedback on how to have a better event for next time, especially when we want to do our next party that is going to come up. Please, can you copy the link on your YouTube and ensure you send in your feedback to us in any form you want. Let us just know what you feel and how we can improve. David.
Yeah, it's been an amazing event. It's been an amazing event. So thanks very much to our panelists. Thanks very much for sharing your insight. I think my own key takeaway, I'm always like security. So my own key takeaway is security is key to this, right? So in order for us to be able to drive adoption, we need to be able to trust the systems, right? And if we're just pushing on towards just all the other components without the security components, what we'll end up doing is we'll spend a lot of money, we'll build solutions that will not be adopted because they are easily broken into, right? So, send a check to Mr. Lanre, get him to assess your systems, get your systems strong and secure. So that's my own key takeaway from this.
All right, that's a nice one.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you all our audience out there. We are expecting your feedback, and we know that with this short while we've been able to have at least a short time together, and we'll see next time when we have another Ignite program, and hopefully to be in person. The experience in person is different from virtual. Sorry, Onechinachi and Olana, comparing the experience of buying a shop and going and trying to have it at the same time. For me, I said goodbye, and We'll see you next time when we have such events in Africa. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.